Hi, good morning. Happy Saturday. I am Ellie and I am a certified yoga instructor currently volunteering with the Pink Ribbon Place, offering the Facebook Live yoga classes Saturday mornings at in English, and then 11 a.m. in Spanish. So, welcome. I am very excited for our class today. Going off of last week, we're going to continue working on our back bends a little bit and possibly going maybe a little bit deeper this time. So, I am very excited um, for today's class. A couple of things before we get started. As you can see today, I have this awesome shirt on that I will tell you guys about at the end of class, which I am actually very, very, very excited about. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and get started with today's class. So make sure you have your yoga mat or something you're not going to slip on, your this guy, your yoga blanket, or your beach towel works as well. And I do recommend it if you are practicing on a hardwood floor surface, sorry. I do highly recommend that you grab yourself a blanket or a towel just in case, a yoga strap as well. Or if you don't have a yoga strap, you can always just use a belt or a scarf. As long as it is not as elastic, it works amazing. And if you just happen to have blocks today where we are going, you might need them. They might be kind of handy, but you can also just use some books, some really sturdy boxes, something that you're not gonna, hit, crash, anything like that. But yeah, I do recommend these as well. Again, this is only if you want to go deeper into our back bend of today. If not, completely cool. So with that being said, like always, let's have fun. Let's try and stay safe. And just remember to listen to our bodies. So let's go ahead and get started. Um, Find yourself a nice comfortable spot. We are going to start today's class fully reclined. And like always, I'm still trying out the whole Apple AirPods. I'm so sorry, those guys. So hopefully it does block out some of that sound, and it makes it a little bit better to understand me instead of me having to yell into that little tiny microphone on the phone. So finding a very comfortable spot on your mat, again, by taking a big breath in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Last one, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And begin to focus on your breath. It sometimes helps to place one hand on the chest and then one hand on the belly, just to feel that belly rise and then sink down with every exhale. And it really just works as a nice reminder to keep breathing. Slowly begin to melt onto your mat. Everything starts to get a little heavier. And any of those thoughts that have been lingering this morning, this week, at any point, they slowly start to get really, really, really distant. And all that I want you to think about for the next 20 to 25 minutes is just your practice, your breath. All of that will be there after class, I promise. Now you feel your shoulders starting to melt deeper into your mat. Your body starts to get heavier. Maybe that breath starts to get a little deeper. And remember that wherever you are practicing, if you're outside like me or you're indoors, wherever, if you hear any outside noises, acknowledge them for a second and then let them go on their way. They should not distract you from your practice today. And when we're ready, start to open up your eyes just a little bit slowly. Still pretty early in the day. Take those hands overhead and give yourself a nice big stretch. Make yourself really, really long. And bring those hands back down, bending those knees, and just swaying them side to side, kind of windshield wiping. We're just going to get a feel for our back, start to release some of that tension. And hopefully these ants don't bite me out here. I switched my mat today to a lighter color, a darker color, because that lighter color attracted a lot of bugs. So hopefully not too many ants get curious. And when you're ready, coming back to center, we're going to bring those knees in and gently use your fingertips kind of as measurement. If you can see where I'm at, where I can kind of barely touch the back of my heels. Knees are really close together, not completely touching. There's a little bit of a space between, maybe about 1.5 inches of a space. And when we're ready, inhale, begin peeling yourself off, bringing those hips up, keeping those thighs nice and active, and slowly lifting yourself up off from your mat. And then as slow as you can, bring yourself back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Hips coming back up. And then you go a little higher this time. Again, we're activating our glutes are nice and active. Those thighs are working. And slowly coming back down. Last one. Taking those hips up. Slowly moving through. So remembering to breathe. We're holding one more breath here. And slowly, almost if you're moving through jello, coming all the way back down onto your mat. Again, taking those knees side to side, kind of windshield wiping. We're still just very early on in our class, but we are warming up our spine, warming up our body to get ready for our awesome back bend today, which I'm very excited about. And in your own way, rolling on to your side and coming onto hands and knees. Hands and knees, remember to keep those hands nice and spread out. Remember to try to keep that weight across all of your fingers, all of your hands, your palm, not trying to keep it just in one area. And those knees are about hip width distance apart. When you found your nice and sturdy foundation, inhale, dropping that belly down. And exhale, tucking that chin, rounding that spine, almost if, again, every little vertebrae is bending one by one as you're rounding up. Dropping that belly down. And exhale, tucking that chin, rounding that spine. The slower you move, the better this feels. And dropping that belly. Really pushing into that mat, making yourself nice and tall. And when we're ready, tucking that chin, rounding that spine. Coming back to center, you're always welcome to do a couple more here if that felt really good for you. And if you're ready, well, actually, no, we got one more sweet thing before we start moving. Totally forgot. Take that right hand, place it all the way in front of you, in front of your face, and then all the way forward as far as you can. Left hand comes up nice and high, and just take it right under that right hand. This is a needle and thread pose right here. And we're just starting with our gentle twist here. Something that still feels good. We're only warming up. Although I am very excited that we're going to get moving fairly soon. Just taking a deep breath. Again, trying to breathe into those vertebrae, breathing into that back. Already pushing ourselves up. And all we're going to do is switch sides. Again, if you went opposite of me, it's all good. As long as you get both sides in, it is all good. There is no right, there is no wrong. You will not get in trouble for going in the opposite direction of me. We're going to keep breathing. Again, we're trying to breathe into our back. I know it sounds really weird, but we're just trying to get a little air into our backs. Coming up, taking that hand. You're welcome to do a couple more cat-cows here, so might as well do a couple since we're already here. Dropping that belly down and tucking that chin, rounding that spine. Dropping that belly. Exhale, rounding, that's fine. Inhale, dropping that belly. Last one, rounding that spine. And coming back to center. Wiggle out and let's get moving. I'm very excited. All right, taking those hands forward a couple inches, tucking those toes, and coming up into our very first down dog. From here, taking a moment to check in how the arms feeling, how the wrists feeling. If you ever have any wrist issues, you can always take the hands out towards the sides a little bit, kind of taking your hand and just shifting that wrist off to the side a little bit. That should help release any little pain that you're feeling in that area. And if you're good to go, we're just moving those heels together down into our mat, bending those knees, kind of getting a feel for how our hamstrings are doing. Remember to keep breathing. This is a resting pose. I know it sounds crazy, but this is a resting pose. And with the more practice you get, the more it does feel like a resting pose. And when you're ready, if you have any low back issues, just place your right foot in between your hands. So ignore my next cue. And if your back is good to go, inhale, lifting that right leg up and place that foot right in between your hands. Placing that left hand on the ground, right above that shoulder, and right hand coming up for a gentle twist. Again, remember to keep breathing here, dropping that hand down, dropping that back heel. Make sure those heels are lined up together. Using that knee, let's come up all the way into our warrior two. If you're having any low back issues, shoulder issues, go ahead and bring those hands to heart center. And if not, we're going to hang out here for a second or two, settling in. Remember to relax those shoulders, and hands are coming out, and our gaze is right in between that middle finger. Flip that front palm and reverse your warrior. When we're ready, coming back to our warrior two, straighten out that front leg. Take that right hand and begin reaching and reaching and reaching forward as much as you can. And when you can't reach anymore, right hand comes down and left hand comes up. This is a great time if you have those books, that box, whatever you have. It's always a great time to bring that block out to play with today. For a nice little triangle to get those hips opened a little bit. When you're ready, looking down, bend that knee and just go straight into reversing your warrior one more time. And I do apologize. I hope that you guys can still hear me as we're walking through this side of our sequence. Hands are coming all the way back down, picking up that back heel and stepping that foot back. Then we're ready. Inhale, lifting that left leg up and place that foot right in between your hands. Taking that right hand and placing it right above that, right below that shoulder, and left hand coming up. Again, we're still breathing here through our twist. When we're ready, coming down, dropping that back heel, and pushing ourselves up completely into our warrior two. Once we're settled in, shoulders are relaxed, our hands are still active. Flip that front palm, reverse your warrior. And when we're ready, coming back, straighten out that front leg. Begin reaching, dropping that left hip down, reaching, 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 dropping that left hand, and right hand can come up or can come right at the hip or right behind, whatever is the most comfortable for you this morning. And always remember that what feels good on one side might not feel good on the other. So our bodies are not symmetrical. So Don't be surprised if something feels good on one side. It is not very fun on the other. Looking down, bend that knee, flip your palm, and reverse your warrior one more time. Bringing those hands back to center, completely cartwheel your hands all the way down, picking up that back heel and stepping it back. From here, bringing those knees down. Knees are wide, big toes are touching, hands coming forward for a very quick child's pose. From here, because we are still trying to work as we're resting, you can walk your hands towards the right side. Again, looking for that stretch in that left side of the ribs. Just a quick breath here. When you're ready, we're just walking towards the other side. So now towards the left, stretching out the right side of our body. And coming back. This is a great time since we're gonna take a little bit of a longer break. If you did bring out your little strap, grab it behind you. Thumbs are pointing down. And again, if you feel comfortable, you can always just interlace those fingers like I did here. So just taking those hands, thumbs down. I always get a little bit of a better stretch with this. Now we're doing is just coming straight back down, forehead to our mats, and just stretching out those arms a little bit, depending on where your level of comfort is here. So somewhere it could be all the way up here by your head. It could be somewhere down here by your low back, wherever it is that it feels comfortable. Hang out there for a little bit. Remember to keep those arms active. You don't want to, lose the action that the muscles are doing here and just completely fall into this. So this is a very controlled stretch. And wherever it feels good, just hang out for a little bit, a breath or two, and bring it back down to your low back, coming all the way up, and put that to the side. Bringing those hands back up, tucking those toes, coming into our down dog one more time. From here, inhale, lifting that right leg up, and placing that foot right in between your hands. Taking that back foot, wiggling it out to the side. So now your feet are not necessarily in a parallel line, but there's a little bit of a space in between them. They're more parallel than in a straight line, getting nice and tall. Actually, from here, placing that left hand on the ground and right hand up one more time for a nice little twist. When we're ready, coming back down, getting really high on the ball of that back foot, powering up those legs, and coming straight up into a high lunge. And once you find a nice little strong foundation here, take those hands right behind you. You're going to definitely feel those triceps firing up very quickly. And only to pretend like I have a really big beach ball behind me that I'm trying to pop. I mean, it's summer, so, it's an appropriate imagination technique to use here. So it's like you're trying to pop that beach ball. So you definitely feel those triceps working here. Again, I'm very high on that back foot, the ball of the back foot, and I have that front knee nice and bent. When we're ready, coming back, taking those hands all the way down, and all we're going to do is walk to the long side of our mat. Take that right hand, place it right in between your face. Oh, sorry, right in front of your face. So in between, I don't know how that works. But right in front of your face, and bring it. Let's just actually keep it here. Take that right foot and point it towards the corner of your mat. And left hand coming up for a nice little stretch twisting here. And this is one of your prosteritas. If you're ever interested in knowing what the actual name of it is prosterita. This is actually one of my favorite poses just because it feels so good in the hip area. One more breath here. And when we're ready, switch hands. Bring those right toes in, left toes point out towards the corner, and switch sides. Again, if you went opposite of me, it's all good. It's Saturday morning. It's not the end of the world. One more breath here. And coming back to center. Both hands are coming down. Bring those toes in and walk yourself towards the front side of the short side, of your mat. Stepping it back. And coming into your down dog. From here, inhale, lifting that left leg up nice and high. And placing that foot right in between your hands. Planting that right hand down and left hand up for a twist. When ready, coming down. Getting ready for our high lunge. So again, create that space in between your feet, getting nice and high on the ball of the back foot. When we're ready, powering up those legs, coming up. I always found that when my balance is a little wobbly, I just make my stance a bit wider, and that usually takes care of that problem. Bringing those hands again, the beach ball has come back towards the side as well. So again, working on those triceps. Really pretending like you got that beach ball and you're trying to squeeze it, you're trying to pop it. It's not the most fun of poses, but it's a very muscle working, muscle building pose that we're in right now. So, and remember, I am also doing it with you, so we all get to go through this awesome feeling together. When you're ready, coming back and taking those hands down, walking yourself towards the long side of your mat one more time. From here, right hand in front of your face and bring it out as forward as you can. Take that left hand, bringing it up nice and high and passing it right under, grabbing that ankle, shin, knee, wherever is most comfortable for you. All we're doing is, again, looking for that twist and really just finding somewhere to hook onto to be able to get our twist in. Remember, through everything that we are doing today, we are breathing, so we are, that is the main focus of our practice today. So just remember to stay in cue with your breath, even when I don't, like I said, cue it. Just remember to always keep breathing. And bring it back to center. All we're doing is switching sides one more time. There have been a lot of twists today, so your back should be feeling pretty good right now. Though it is pretty early, so depending on how everybody's week went, I hope everyone had a wonderful week. But like you guys know, I work at a desk, so for me, twisting and back stuff is just it's like a day at Disneyland. Coming back to center. Bring those hands back forward and walk yourself towards the front of your mat, picking up that back heel and stepping it back. Yeah, taking a moment here just to catch your breath. I'm so sorry. Looking forward and stepping all the way to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, finding those hands, keeping those knees together, those shins, ankles, everything nice and tight towards each other. Begin pushing yourself all the way up to our mountain pose. Hands coming towards heart center and slowly begin sinking down, coming into our chair pose. Make sure those glutes are nice and activated. Those thighs are working. And everything is nice and active right now. This is definitely not everybody's favorite pose. And what you do remember is you want to avoid sinking in like this. You want to keep that back nice and straight. And maybe you want to go a little lower and maybe a little lower. Again, this is all preferences. Whatever you want to do. When we're ready, folding forward. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, plant those hands. Bending those knees down. And in your own way, just coming down to our awesome back bend of the day, which I'm very excited about. It's one of my favorites. So if you are working on hardwood floor, I do recommend you can either take your mat and roll it halfways, so you got double the padding. And if you don't, you can always use a blanket like this one. So I am on grass, but I will go ahead and demonstrate it as well with my blanket. So I got my blanket on my mat. And we are going to be coming into camel pose, which is a nice little back bend that feels really good, especially on a Saturday. So thighs are about hip width distance apart. Nothing too crazy. Rolling those shoulders back, kind of like we did when we were in our high lunge of this action going on. You can go ahead and tuck those toes under. Rolling those shoulders back. Placing those hands on your low back. You're going to inhale. And as you inhale, we're going to begin reaching that chest forward. So instead of just bending right into it, we are reaching forward, pretending we have like a string right here coming up into our chest. So inhale. And naturally, as we inhale and come forward, the body does this nice little dip, I guess this way would be, which is how you end up in your back bend. So the back bend actually comes from inhaling, going forward, 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 and then the body just naturally curves up like this. And again, keeping those arms nice and active, pretending we still have somewhat like a beach ball. So trying to keep those shoulders tucked in, those elbows tucked in. We don't want no chicken wings. And when you're ready, bring in the core nice and tight and coming forward. From here, just taking a nice little twist, side to side. Something again that feels good. And that is our back bend. You are more than welcome to do a few more of those at any point right now, because you are very warmed up for this. There is always options to go deeper, and then over time I think we can probably move into those. So I'm very excited to continue working on things and progressively moving toward deeper variations. But for today, I think this is going to be a really good starting point for us with this pose. So you can go ahead and remove that blanket from under and just take a nice seat. For a nice little butterfly that we are doing. And you can go ahead and just lean forward. So remembering to breathe as we finish up our class today. And then coming forward. And you are always more than welcome to just join me crisscross applesauce today. So I want to first thank each and every single one of you for taking the time to practice with me today. I had a lot of fun. I know our class was a little bit longer, but I had just so much fun that time literally just flew by. But again, thank you so much for taking the time today to join me on this beautiful Saturday morning to do a little bit of yoga and hear me just talk. But yes, a little bit about this little situation I have going on here. This is my Just Yoga shirt. They are actually a yoga studio, a small 2-location yoga studio out in Corona. That's actually where I did my 1-year certification program. And it's really awesome because they actually just started their online platform, which is going to be so awesome because they are offering full 1-hour length classes. They do have a membership for that, so I am very excited to be part of that. Unfortunately, I will most likely not be doing the English classes, but there are tons of amazing teachers that I do. Please encourage each and every single one of you to check it out. I will be doing the Spanish classes on there, but again, like I said, I do encourage you all to please just check it out. It truly is something amazing, and the variety is just insane. So like I said, Just Yoga, go ahead and check them out. If you have any questions, go ahead and just let me know. And before we finish today's class, I just want to thank each and every single one of you again for taking the time to hang out with me, to, just do a little yoga. It's such a beautiful practice, and I'm very honored to be able to share that with you guys. I do wish you guys an amazing weekend. Please continue to check the Pink Ribbon Place and the Riverside Community Health Foundation page for any updates, any news, anything. And until we see each other again, namaste.